this particular review is, as hard as I'm going to try, I am not going to compare this to other movies that are even close to anything like it. This particular one, I heard that, at least from this friend of mine that I actually keep talking about, he told me that, if nothing else, this is basically Funny Games done right. After watching it in theaters, I have to say, because I have also seen Funny Games, and for the life of me, I cannot understand why that movie got the praise that it did. Even with being a horror fan, you can only suspend disbelief with something like that for so long. This particular You're Next, let's put it that way. You're Next was actually, in its own way, pretty creepy. We have a bunch of killers dressed up like, we've got everything from farm animals to, let's just say, we've got different killers with different motives, dressed up in animal masks, who come with a pretty good artillery of weapons. But you aren't sure until halfway through the movie exactly what their motivation for doing this is. That having been said, we have a bunch of people who come to a house as a party or something like that, maybe even something more than that, I forget. It's been a while since I've watched it, so you have to give me some time there. This particular movie, and I have seen movies where a house is taken over and there's a bunch of psychotics trying to kill everybody in the house. I have not seen The Strangers yet, but I have heard that one's pretty good too. You're Next, in my opinion, after seeing Funny Games, I cannot compare it to that at all. Because if nothing else, Funny Games may have, to some, I thought it could have been a lot better and a lot more convincing than it was. If for no other reason than we have the villains in Funny Games doing a Jekyll and Hyde all the way through the movie after their intentions are made pretty doggone clear, and yet they keep trying to come across like they're the best friends of the family they're trying to kill. I mean, you tell me, does that sound convincing? I don't think so. Not to me. You're Next, though, on the other hand, is not only Funny Games done right. In some ways, it's basically its own movie. And I do want to see The Strangers, and I will critique that one as soon as I can. But You're Next is actually pretty good because, if nothing else, it sets a foreboding tone. It's not exactly meant to be comedic, even though there are a few scenes that actually, as I recall, there are a few scenes that actually are kind of funny. But strangely enough, the violence is, as I recall, the violence is not that graphic. And I was grateful for that, because when it comes to graphic violence, even in scary movies, even in today's world, now granted, I did like the Saw movies and the Scream movies, and a bunch of others that are kind of like it, but I don't always understand why the violence has to be so flippin' graphic in order to make it scary. Like I said, I've liked scary movies ever since the Scream movies, ever since seeing those. Even so, I think some movies really go overboard with the graphic violence, as far as when people are victimized or murdered. But, once again, that's my opinion. Take it or leave it. This movie may end up, wow. There aren't even that many well-known actors in this film. It is pretty well done. I would not be surprised if there was a sequel. But you never know, because it seems like everything under the sun, including comedies, are getting sequels. Some of which they need, some of which they don't. For the life of me, I can't always understand why some comedies warrant sequels. I just can't. Check it out if you haven't already, and tell me what you think about the movie and my comment, or my video. Happy viewing and take care.